Hey everybody, this is Murray back with you for this edition of the local Lowdown podcast. And this is a video edition. It's going to be me by myself. My partner Michelle's on vacation, and I've had a lot of personal business to take care of. So I'm sorry that we didn't get this to you sooner. Hopefully, you've already got your newspapers, and if you haven't, well, you can see them here. This is for the July 24th and 25th editions. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll through these. They'll be on the screen. I'm going to scroll through them slowly from issue to issue where you can see, if you haven't got your newspaper already, you can see what's going to be in it. And if you've got them already, well, this really doesn't pertain to you, I guess. So let's move on over now and look at the newspapers and see what's going on. We're going to start off with the Hallettsville Tribune Herald. I'm going to crank this music up a little bit and I'm going to scroll through it. I may stop from time to time if I see something to point out. First of all, I want you to be sure, if you haven't already, check out this Discover magazine, friends, because it's a slick edition. I thought it was real good, put together nicely by our managing editor Bobby Hariska, and of course our award-winning graphic artist Michelle Price, and our reporter Clayton Kelly's got some content in there, and I think that you'll enjoy it. It's a good read. Got a lot of interesting stuff in it about Lavaca County. So let's go on and scroll on. We have a Hallettsville police report and an arrest. Go through that. Story about Jonathan Brooks and his happenings in the NFL. And I think I know if you're a football fan, you'll certainly enjoy reading this. So I'm going to scroll through it. I'm going to stop talking now and crank up the music a little bit. Okay, folks, that's going to wrap up the Hallettsville Tribune Herald. We're going to move on over now to my co-host Michelle's favorite newspaper, the Shiner Gazette, and we'll take a look at it. Hopefully you can see it on your screen. This story, beautifully unbroken crowning achievement, was written by our colleague over at the Luling Newsboy, Nicole Smith. You probably remember Nicole. We've had her on the podcast several times, and I guarantee you she'll be back real soon. But she wrote a beautiful story about this young lady that's a newly crowned Miss Shiner, Callie Septic. So I want you to be sure that you read that, and it's a heartwarming story about this young lady, and she's to be honored for this thing that she's doing right now, and she put her heart into it, and it's a good story. So I'm gonna back on down now, and I'm gonna let you view the Shiner Gazette. I'll crank up the music, and I'll shut up. Okay, friends, that wraps up the Shiner Gazette. Uh, I'll have to ask you to forgive me for this scrolling. The internet's not cooperating, so everything's kind of jumpy, and I may have to slide back from time to time to get the image on screen for you to see. So Anyway, that's all for Shiner, and now we're going to take a ride on down to Yoakum, and we're going to view the Yoakum Herald Times. We have Nadine and Allison over there putting this paper together for us, and they have a big following. The Yoakum Herald Times, folks in Yoakum, they follow that newspaper, and we certainly appreciate your support. And I'm going to go on with it now. I'll shut up and let you check out these 10 pages of the Yoakum Herald Times. Okay, friends, that's going to wrap up the Yoakum Herald Times. I want to take a moment to thank all our advertisers, which we try to do anytime we have a podcast. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't get paid, I like to say, and that's true. They are the reason that these newspapers can exist and bring you all the local news. And we appreciate Gonzales Healthcare System and Lavaca Medical Care and Clinic and We do appreciate Potex over in Shiner and all our regulars. Thank you so much for bringing your advertising to our newspapers so that we're able to bring them to our readers. So now I'm going to move on over to the little newspaper that I have a hand in putting together, which is the Molten Eagle. We'll move on over to Molten now. I hope you can see it. Last time I did one of these, I forgot to put the Molten Eagle live. Of all the papers, you'd think that the one I put together, that I wouldn't make a mistake like that. But you have your moments, I'm sure you understand. So this is the Molten Eagle. And I'm going to scroll up. I'm probably going to talk a little bit more about Molten because I do have a hand in putting it together. This story here about the Molten royalty to say a farewell to the rain. Now, this is the last year that they're going to have the Molten royalty. I guess they just didn't have a lot of participation, or maybe we didn't have a lot of interest. I don't know which. But we thank these young ladies and this young gentleman for all the work that they've done in being the last of this thing, and hopefully maybe in the future that it'll come back. And the other big news, of course, is this Discover magazine. I guess you can tell by how large this picture is that I'm really proud of it. I think it's a slick publication, and I hope that you'll all take the time to go through it and read it. A lot of work went into it. And of course, the big news for Molten is the Molten Jamboree that starts tomorrow. And let's see, Jimmy Apple wrote this story. I'm trying to see what time the parade starts. I believe it starts around 10:30. You'll have to just read your paper and double check me on that because I'm trying to look at this monitor and I can't read that print very well. But we'll have the parade and the big goings on Saturday, and then Sunday we have one of my favorite things is a classic car show. So be sure and take that in. We'll have reporters over there. I think Clayton Kelly is going to be there tomorrow. And if things work out, I may take a ride over there and try to shoot some photographs of the car show. So I'm going to shut up now and let you finish this off. I'll crank the music up once again and let you look at the Molten Eagle. Okay, folks, that's going to wrap up the Molten Eagle. And be sure and read that story. I'm going to scroll back down so you can see it. Be sure and read this. It's in all our newspapers, I believe, and this young lady Kelly is to be congratulated on what she's doing right now. So I hope y'all will check that out. But that's going to be all for the Molten Eagle, and that's going to wrap up all our papers in Lavaca County. But before we go, we're going to take a ride on up to the watermelon capital of Texas, Lowdown, and take a look at what they've got in their paper this week. This paper is put together by our colleague, Nicole Smith. And she's been over here to visit us for several podcasts. And like I said before, she will be back. But let's take a look at Nicole's paper, the Lowdown Newsboy and Signal, the July 25th edition. And I will shut up and let you check it out. Well, that's going to wrap up Luling and Nicole Smith's newspaper over there. We appreciate Nicole helping out over here with our Lavaca County newspapers from time to time, writing articles and sharing her knowledge with us. We certainly appreciate that. And that's going to pretty well wrap up the podcast for our, rather, should I say, the video podcast for this week. And hopefully Nicole will be back with us, or Nicole will be back with us, and her partner, Michelle, who's enjoying her vacation, I hope. She'll be back with us again as well. And so look forward to next week. I appreciate you watching this. I'm sorry I got it out a little late, but at least for those of you that didn't get a paper, or maybe your paper's a little late, this will give you some idea of what you've got to look forward to. Read that Discover magazine, friends, and try to make the Moulton Jamboree this weekend. Starts tomorrow, and I guarantee you there'll be a lot of fun, a lot of music, a lot of dancing, car shows, parades, you name it. We got it in Moulton. Thanks, folks. Appreciate it. And I'll see you again next week. Goodbye, everybody.